Have you ever watched a child sit quietly in a busy restaurant, not because they were told to be quiet, but because they simply knew? There is something different about the way many Japanese children move through the world, a kind of calm, a kind of awareness, not perfect, not robotic, just grounded. And when you look closely at how they're raised, you start to understand why. This is not a video about one culture being better than another. Every family is different. Every child is different. But there are certain practices, certain quiet habits embedded in Japanese family life that create something beautiful. A child who feels safe. A child who understands others. A child who can sit with themselves. Today, we explore some of those habits, not as rules to follow, but as gentle ideas to think about. Let's begin with something simple. In Japan, children are often given responsibility very early in life, not big, heavy responsibility, small things. A young child might be asked to carry their own small bag to school, to clean up their own space after eating, to tie their own shoes, even when it takes a long time. Parents watch, they wait, they do not rush in. This is not neglect, this is trust. When a child is trusted with small things, they begin to trust themselves. They learn that they are capable, that they can figure things out. And that feeling, that quiet confidence, it stays with them. It shapes how they move through the world. There is a Japanese word, kodawari. It doesn't translate perfectly into English, but it means something like a deep care for doing things well, a devotion to the small details. Japanese children are often raised in environments where doing things carefully matters, not perfectly, but carefully. Taking off your shoes before entering a home, placing them neatly at the door, not because someone is watching, but because it is the right thing to do. These small rituals, they add up. They teach a child that how you do something matters, that attention and care are worth giving. Now let's talk about something that is rarely spoken about directly: emotional regulation. In many Japanese households and schools, children are gently guided to understand their feelings, not to suppress them, but to understand them. When a child is upset, a Japanese parent might not immediately say, "Stop crying." They might sit beside the child, stay close, let the feeling pass on its own. There is an understanding that emotions are natural, that they come and they go. Children learn this slowly, over years. They learn that a feeling is not an emergency, that anger will soften, that sadness will lift. And because they have been allowed to feel, they don't need to fight their feelings. They can sit beside them and let them pass. Group harmony is something deeply woven into Japanese culture. From a very young age, children learn to be aware of the people around them, not in a way that erases the self, but in a way that says, "We are here together." In Japanese schools, children clean their own classrooms together. There are no janitors to do this work. The children sweep the floors, wipe the desks, clean the hallways, side by side. This teaches something profound, that shared spaces are cared for by the people who use them, that you are responsible, not just for yourself, but for the space you share with others. A child who understands this does not litter, does not push others aside, does not take more than they need. They carry a quiet awareness of those around them. Let's talk about independence. In Japan, it is common to see very young children riding the train to school alone, walking to the park alone, running small errands alone. To many people from outside Japan, this can seem surprising, but there is wisdom in it. When a child is allowed to navigate the world on their own, they develop something that cannot be taught in a classroom: resilience, the ability to problem solve, to find their way, to ask for help when they need it. They learn that the world is not a dangerous place to be feared, but a place to be explored with care and curiosity. And children who feel this carry a kind of calm with them. Routine is another quiet teacher. Japanese family life often follows gentle rhythms, meals at similar times, bedtime routines that repeat, morning rituals that ground the start of every day. Children thrive in rhythm, not rigid, harsh schedules, but soft, predictable patterns that tell the body and the mind, you are safe, you know what comes next, you are held. When a child feels that kind of security, they don't need to be anxious. They don't need to act out to find their edges. They already know where they are. There is something called ikigai in Japanese thought. It means, roughly, a reason for being, a sense of purpose. This idea is often taught to children not through words, but through experience. A child is given a small plant to care for. They water it every day. They watch it grow. Or they are given a simple role in the family, setting the table, feeding the cat, helping fold the laundry. These tasks are never described as chores. They are described as contributions. This is your part in the family. And children who feel that their contribution matters feel that they matter. That sense of belonging, of being needed, it quiets something inside them. Respect in Japanese culture is not demanded, it is modeled. Parents bow to their children when they say thank you. Teachers treat students with genuine dignity. Elders are spoken to with care. Children absorb this, not because they are told to respect others, but because they see respect every single day. They see what it looks like. They feel what it feels like to receive it. And so they give it back naturally. Respect becomes less of a rule and more of a language, one they learn to speak fluently. It's worth pausing here to say something important. Japan is not a perfect place. Japanese parenting is not a perfect system. There are pressures, there are struggles, there are children who are lost or lonely or overwhelmed. Every society carries its shadows. But within the everyday habits of many Japanese families, there are seeds of something worth noticing, something worth sitting with. So what is the secret? There isn't one. It's not one thing. It's many small things done slowly over many years. It is the parent who waits while their child struggles to button their coat. It is the school that teaches children to clean their own space. It is the routine that says, you are safe here. It is the freedom that says, you are capable. It is the love that says, your feelings are real and they will pass. It is the community that says, we are here together. All of these things together create a child who is not perfect, but grounded. A child who can be still, who can be kind, who can move through the world with a quiet kind of grace. Maybe we don't need to copy everything. Maybe we just need to slow down a little, to trust our children a little more, to let them feel a little more, to let them do a little more, to remind them that they are capable, that they belong, that they matter. Children don't need us to be perfect parents. They need us to be present ones. And in the gentle, quiet moments, in the small habits and soft routines, it is there that something beautiful quietly takes root and grows.